So now all of a sudden, Democrats care about the Epstein files, even though before they didn't.
Like I said, things should be released. We should know what happened here. And it is a claim that this president has made time and time again, and the American people have the right to know what happened.
So President Trump posted on Truth Social Friday, quote, "If there was a smoking gun on Epstein, why didn't the Democrats who controlled the files for 4 years and had Garland and Comey in charge use it because they had nothing," unquote. After the Miami Herald story broke in 2018, you said there was something not right in the Epstein case. But it's true that the president says there, Democrats didn't really seem to do anything about the Epstein files throughout the 4 years of the Biden administration. I mean, should you have? You sit on the Senate Judiciary Committee. Senator Marsha Blackburn for years has been trying to get flight records and other information about Epstein released, and she seems to have been the only one on that committee trying to do so.
It has backfired on them colossally.
Look, I think this one surprised me a bit because of all of these complaints online going after Trump and the Epstein files. You might think his approval ratings were going down with Republicans. If anything, they're going up. Republicans who approve of Trump, look at our CNN poll. The prior one, 86%. The one out this week, 88% were Republicans. How about Quinnipiac? The prior poll, 87% approve of Republicans. This week out, 90% with Republicans. If anything, Donald Trump's approval rating has gone up since this whole Epstein saga started. He is at the apex or close there too in terms of his popularity with Republican voters, Epstein files, complaints or not.
You just proved that not everything online is real.
Yes,
in real life.
Who knew?
And right on the cusp of this, we now have evidence that Barack Obama was involved in a soft coup against Donald Trump.
Say it ain't so, Joe. Say it ain't so.
Oh, we have no doubt it's true.
Let's get ready to rumble! You can't handle the truth.
Hi, I'm Pastor Marty, and this is the Afternoon Drive. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and once you are, smack the bell, click the word all. That will give you notification of my rants, my ravings, my undeniably flawless reasonings. Hey, please like and share this video. That's the only way that we get the word out that we're here. Thank you so much for watching and being a part of the Afternoon Drive. You know what the Democrats needed to do when there was some infighting going on in MAGA world? Nothing. They should have left it alone. They need to follow the advice of Ray Kroc. When your competition is on fire, let them burn. And they didn't. They asserted themselves. They tried to take cherry-picked tweets and comments from those within MAGA world that were upset over the lack of transparency over Epstein. And they tried to build this up that there was this big backlash in MAGA world and this is the end of Trump. And you know what that did? It reminded all of the MAGA people that we really hate the liberals, that we really can't stand the libloon woke Democrats, the socialist Democrats. We don't want them in control. We don't want them in power. We don't want them in charge. And it's the idea, back when you were a kid, you could get in a fight with your sister. Nobody else in the neighborhood could. And so all it did was it re-rallied MAGA back to Donald Trump. And now look at these polling numbers. And by the way, I have said that I wanted to see more transparency where Epstein was concerned. But I said in the very beginning, the reason I didn't talk a lot about it initially was I don't know that the average American really cares. Not that they aren't upset that there were children who were abused sexually, trafficked, and treated this way. I think the average American understood, well, they're never going to arrest the people involved. There's nothing that's really going to come of this, and they've got things going on in their own lives that right now is what's occupying their concern. You know, can I afford to live, and what I need to do, and what's affecting me right now. And Donald Trump, who, love him or hate him, he is a political animal with the best political instincts on the planet. And he understood that is exactly where the American people, even the MAGA people, by and large are. And once again, he's been proven right. Now, right about that time, though, the Trump DOJ did try to pivot the narrative away by, announcing that there was a formal investigation into James Comey and John Brennan. And then Tulsi Gabbard, National Security, steps forward with the bomb.
This is not a Democrat or Republican issue. This is an issue that is so serious it should concern every single American because it has to do with the integrity of our democratic republic. What we saw occur here, as the documents we released detailed, was that we had a sitting president of the United States and his cabinet and leadership team, quite frankly, who were not happy with the fact that President Trump had won the election, that the American people had chosen Donald J. Trump to be the next president commander-in-chief of the United States. And so they decided that they would do everything possible to try to undermine his ability to do what voters tasked President Trump to do. So creating this piece of manufactured intelligence that claims that Russia had helped Donald Trump get elected contradicted every other assessment that had been made previously in the months leading up to the election that said exactly the opposite, that Russia had neither the intent nor the capability to try to, quote unquote, hack the United States election for the presidency of the United States. So the effect of what President Obama and his senior national security team did was subvert the will of the American people, undermining our democratic republic, and enacting what would be essentially a years-long coup against President Trump, who was duly elected by the American people.
Well, I remember a couple weeks ago, the Democrats were predicting that Tulsi Gabbard had resigned over Iran, and here she is leading the charge to go after Barack Obama and all of his henchmen, that the whole Russia, that whole collusion hoax was actually a soft coup. Most of us understood that's what it was. What we didn't have was the actual smoking gun to say who was responsible. We know that Hillary Rodham Clinton is the one that initially engaged financially the services that created the Steele dossier, which is what the Russia narrative came from, that Trump was in collusion with Moscow. By the way, hold that thought. Hold that thought. You know the agency that Hillary Rodham Clinton used to create the Steele dossier? Fusion GPS. Remember that name? Fusion GPS helped create this Steele dossier, which Hillary Rodham Clinton paid for. Over the weekend, the Wall Street Journal tried to release this article that Donald Trump had given Jeffrey Epstein a birthday card. And immediately everybody's BS alarm went off and said, whoa. The wording of this doesn't sound like anything Donald Trump would write. And the fact that it was typed, not written, and the fact that the Wall Street Journal didn't actually have this card in hand, they're just quoting someone who supposedly saw it. There was this big, huge blow up over the weekend over that. And now we find out the writer of the article worked for Fusion GPS. Oh, can I get a bum? And you remember that little raid on Mar-a-Lago? Many now believe that that raid was about the FBI being sent in by the Biden administration, which was ended up to their eyeballs in this soft coup of Donald Trump in 2016, that Donald Trump may have knowingly or unknowingly, in the files that he took with him, had some of the smoking gun evidence that pointed to Barack Obama. And so they were sent in to find it. Oh, does this rise to the level of treason? It absolutely does. And there are some pundits and some podcasters on here, I mean, they are all over this. The sad reality is it's probably not going to happen. Did Barack Obama commit treason? Barack Obama technically is the most illegitimate president we've ever had because, again, you're talking about a man who lied about his name, lied about his heritage, lied about his religion. What truth is there of Barack Barry Obama? He's a deep state creation. But at least now we know. We always knew, but now we know. We know. And America knows it too. And so, would we like to see more regarding Epstein? Well, President Trump has said release the grand jury transcripts. Got to wait on a judge to do that. But Barack Obama and that corrupt intel community, James Comey, John Brennan, Susan Rice, we know.